welcome to SveNFL.
What is up, y'all?
It's Jonathan Rollins.
And Schif Musara.
Two Americans living in Sweden talking about football.
Yeah.
Yes, week 7 is upon us, man. I'm ready. We kind of know what to expect, I guess. I don't know. The league kind of flipped us on our expectations on its heads this last week.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? Like what I don't know, I don't, maybe I do know. Related to that pause, the little pause that you do at the beginning of the show every week. Every time you do that, it pops into my head that I think, like, you know what? This is the week that he's going to just say something else, like talking about gardening or something.
No.
Two Americans living in Sweden talking about gardening. But it never happens. It's always football.
No, sorry, man.
Always,
it's
but I'm
always
glad. I'm not
football.
complaining. I don't want to talk about gardening. I don't know anything about gardening.
Sounds a little bit like a complaint. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know.
No, it's actually, I'm glad. I'm just telling you that like a lot of, I don't need much of a pause for thoughts to start swirling in my head. And if you give me a moment of silence, my head takes over. Yeah. But I'm glad that you say football week after week. Thank God for that.
I'm looking at some of these games, but I'm already looking ahead to the flip and pick 'em. As far as flip 'em and pick 'em goes, because of this wonderful spreadsheet, I'm able to see our progress so far, and I'm ahead 56-48 right now.
I had a terrible week last week.
Yeah,
terrible.
You only got 6 points last week, I believe.
Yeah,
because you did get that last game right. The Chargers did in fact beat the Broncos.
Yep. Before we flip and pick, there are actually a couple of news stories to talk about.
Nice.
We've hinted at them a little bit. Marquise Hollywood Brown suffered what initially sounded like might be a season-ending foot injury, but it appears that it might not be a season-ending. But regardless, he's out for a while. Very quickly, the Cardinals executed a trade for Robbie Anderson, who will join from the Panthers after his, kerfuffle on the sidelines.
Try to fight a coach, man. Jeez. He went from one fire coach. He's gonna be looked at as like the precursor to a unemployed coach.
Yep. This is interesting because it serves as a reminder. I always forget about this every year but the NFL trade deadline is kind of right around the corner. We've talked about this. The NFL trade deadline usually doesn't pop off the same way that it does in a lot of other leagues.
NBA, it's a big deal.
NBA and NHL, it happens so late in the season that it really, you can really change. You can really change the DNA of your team headed into the playoffs. But it does remind you that there are a few things out there that are kind of interesting. The Panthers are out here shopping McCaffrey, which is kind of fascinating. They obviously want an absolute haul in return for it. So I'm not entirely sure. I'm convinced that he'll get traded.
I'm guessing if a team does it, it's going to be that team that's always ready to do shit like that. Imagine him on the Rams.
The Rams are the one that makes sense to me in a way because of what you said. He was linked to the Bills at one point, but I'm like, what did the Bills want to give up for him? Like, they have so many good things. Like, they're just humming right now.
But the Rams, they got a deep defense. I guess they could give a defensive player.
Yeah.
They don't have draft picks.
You also have some teams who are seriously in need of some shit before the trade deadline. You got the Packers, who are obviously in need of a wide receiver. You got OBJ hanging out here. We still don't know what's going on there. You got valuable players like on bad teams, like Brandon Cooks playing for the Texans. He could wind up somewhere. There's been a lot of rumors about your Dolphins shopping Mike Gesicki, or maybe not shopping him, but thinking that they don't he's not part of the thing anymore. Yeah. The Browns also have this sort of extra running back in Dearness Johnson.
Yeah, but why do they need him when they got Chubb and Hunt?
No, but I'm saying like as a trade target, like they could trade him to get something they need.
Okay, I was just thinking about McCaffrey. Okay,
yeah,
the Browns
Jets,
definitely.
I don't know if everybody remembers that the Jets receiver Denzel Mims, who's been kind of the odd man out this season. You could see him maybe land somewhere, and then of course the Bears. I don't know if it's smart to do this or not, but I mean they do have they had a contract dispute with my man former Bulldog Roquan Smith, who was healthy and one of the few bright spots on their roster. There is some logic that if you trade him now, he's way more valuable if you trade him now than if you wait and lose him for nothing. You know what I mean?
A draft pick from a bad team or something.
And then, of course, you got the Cam Akers situation in LA, where it appears that he's kind of having football and philosophical differences with Sean McVay. There's a lot of teams that could use a dude like Cam Akers.
Right? That's why I think that could be the piece to get McCaffrey over there.
Some of the rumors for Cam Akers, I'm going to throw them at you real quick and see what you think. Cam Akers to the Colts.
Yeah.
Cam Akers to the Vikings.
No, why? Any more?
Just in case Dalvin Cook gets injured. Cam Akers to the Eagles. Could be interesting.
They got that run thing going, man.
I mean, they do have Hurts and they have Sanders. But yeah.
They got another one, too. What's his name? Gainwell, I think?
Gainwell. They also have Boston Scott. I don't think they need him.
The Eagles don't need a running back. They're running by committee. Anyway.
The other rumor is the Lions. I guess that's primarily based on DeAndre Swift's injury woes. Chargers are one suggestion.
With Eckler?
But, yeah, I don't see that. Falcons. Why not? They threw the Falcons in this list. This is from an article I saw.
Oh, okay.
Broncos, maybe. That's not a bad idea.
The guy got hurt, Williams.
And they got some fumble issues with Melvin Gordon. Can't protect the rock.
That's anyway, not like Cam Akers can.
Interesting to remember. Right, we're only 2 weeks away.
Isn't he fumble prone himself?
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, so we're just a couple weeks away from the trade deadline. So everybody keep your eyes peeled for that. A little injury news. Carson Wentz out 4 to 6 weeks with a broken ring finger.
Sprained ego.
This means that it is officially time for the Taylor Heineke show once again.
I'm sorry, I'm done.
Yeah. I think I mentioned it. Alvin Kamara officially being sued for assault and battery.
Yeah, man.
And that's what pisses me off.
Yep. Jack Easterby got fired from the Houston Texans. I don't know if you heard that.
No.
This is one of the weirder.
Who's that?
Jack Easterby is one of the weirder people in the NFL landscape. He's sort of like a VP of operations for the Texans. Yeah. He used to be with the Patriots, and his job, his first job with the Patriots was as a character coach, whatever that means. He later became their development director.
So together he was the developing character.
I will remind everyone that he was, somewhat of a character coach for the Houston Texans at the time when Deshaun Watson was out here raping all these massage therapists, allegedly.
And that's what pisses me off.
Yeah, he also has a history of. There's been numerous reports over the years, especially from Sports Illustrated, about Jack Easterby out here undermining other executives and decision makers, fostering a culture of distrust among staff and players, getting involved in football-related decisions that he's not supposed to be involved in. He was apparently one of the people that was most responsible for getting rid of DeAndre Hopkins, which didn't turn like so. He's a weird kind of.
Then he also wasn't he the one who brought in that consultancy firm?
Yep.
To hire a new coach and then didn't take their advice and hired who he wanted to hire.
Yep.
Then reneged on that hire and then brought in David Cullen to ruin the whole relationship with Deshaun Watson.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I can see why. He's gone. Took him long.
Okay, and then the last thing I really want to talk about is this is a funny story. Okay, this is the last time I'm going to talk about this roughing the passer business.
Okay.
Okay.
Shout out to Bogle.
But this is fascinating because the league sent out a video to all the teams related to the roughing the passer rule. They addressed the recent controversial calls, and in this video, they only included one example. I'll give you one guess which example they left out.
Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
And they failed to acknowledge the fact that in that Chiefs example that what's his name? Who did he sack? Chris Jones sacks.
He sacked David Carr.
Exactly. They completely ignored the fact that he fumbled the ball in the process of the sack.
Like they didn't
even. But exactly.
I feel like if it was reviewable and then there was a fumble, like they should have been able to say there was no penalty.
I think it's weird. And the other part of this is weird. Tom Brady was fined last week just over $11,000 for trying to kick Grady Jarrett at the end of that sack.
Oh shit.
I don't understand if this is to make me feel better. This fine does nothing to address the fact that it was a bullshit call.
Right.
This is some kind of a 3-card Monty, like look at the monkey type shit. You know what I mean?
It's
the
like
NFL
trying to distract. Yeah.
The NFL thinks that I'm fucking stupid. Like $11,000 just falls out of Brady's ass every time he farts. Like I give a fuck. You know what I mean? It's like, and on top of that, the NFL decided not to fine Grady Jarrett or Chris Jones or any of the other 9 players who were called for roughing the passer in week 5, which is usually an automatic $15,000 fine.
Oh, I didn't know that it was an automatic fine, roughing the passer.
Normally. Okay. But to be fair, to put my own like kind of like homerism aside, it's a real issue here because it sends an incredibly inconsistent message to the players whose job it is to sack the quarterback, right? So you sack a flag, you sack a dude, you get the flag, even though you feel like it's clean, you wait for the league to respond. They do so with a letter and a video explaining why you were wrong, but the disciplinary office decides that you should not be fined for a personal foul. That was definitely your fault somehow, even though it's usually an automatic fine. It's just to make sure that everyone sees how we took I don't know. They just like, is the league like, look, we get it. We took a shit in the fucking punch bowl, and we're going to find this quarterback who definitely, tried to kick you, but let's just try to move on past it. Like, I don't even understand what they're doing here. These guys who get hired to do this for a living, they're just trying to figure out what's allowed so that they can do their jobs. Right. And
not hurt their team with a penalty.
Honestly, after this response, like, good luck trying to figure it out. I don't even understand what they're doing.
Has the NFLPA said anything?
I haven't heard anything from them, but and best I've heard so far is that they may or may not look into this when the season is over. But for now, it's all in the shadows. They might be having conversations behind closed doors with the referees, for all I know. But I don't know. Wow. Zero clarity from the league regarding this at the moment.
Over and 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 over
me, bro.
Mm-hmm. And over and over and over and over and over again.
I always forget how long that is. It's funny.
It's crazy, man. The league is horrible.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get our flips in, man. Do you have any more news? That one was draining. That was just like, ugh.
Yeah, let's talk about actual football that's going to happen.
The sport is so beautiful and so fun. And it's run by some inept people that can't hold referees or owners accountable.
Agreed.
And that's a big part of the league is referees and owners.
Mm-hmm.
People can ruin things for you as a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Referees and owners.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Cliff Kingsbury.
If you're rooting for Cliff Kingsbury, then you fucked up already.
Speaking of Thursday Night Football, anyway, let's flip this coin. Sorry, I took over Sergeant Segue there for a second.
Yeah, Sergeant Segue.
I overstepped my bounds. Sorry.
Yeah, man. You're running into Sergeant Segue territory,
right.
man.
Stay in your lane, bro.
Yeah, man. Man, I'm about to flip out here, man. Speaking of flip,
there he is, taking his lane back. Let's go.
All right, let's go. I'm gonna call it in the air, man.
All right, here we go. Boom.
Tails, baby.
I just want to say before I lift my hand, your record on the coin flip has been awful this year.
Yeah, man. I'm 0-6.
And even though,
or 0-3, I guess, and then you win every time.
Theoretically, this is a competition. This is you versus me. But because you're my friend, I'm rooting for you, bro. Look, I really want this to be tails. I really do. Like, I'm almost willing it.
Yes, will it, man.
I'm willing it to be tails.
Don't lie either. Yeah.
Okay. I never lie. I would never lie to you. I would never lie to you. I'd lie to a whole bunch of other people, but not you.
It's good to know, man.
I'm going to go slow. The drama. Can you feel the drama? It's tails.
Nah, I was ready for this one.
I am so upset.
It's tails.
Nice. I got one finally, man.
It's tails, bro.
I finally got it, man.
It's not just tails. If you can see that.
I haven't seen that coin before.
This is the Maya Angelou quarter.
Wow. Why the cage bird sings.
Dope, right?
I rise. Yes.
I love this one.
You know what? I'm going to take it just to let you do your thing, man. I'm taking the first game, and I'm gonna pick, going against my better judgment. Let me pick Jonathan Starks. Against my better judgment, I'm gonna pick the Cardinals to get it right and win this game. It's two inept coaches. This is the coaching shit bowl of the week.
I actually agree with you to a certain extent, because I think as bad as Cliff Kingsbury's offense is at the moment, I feel like their defense has been playing a lot better in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, man.
And keep giving the offense a chance to win games, which they failed to do. And I think the Saints defense is actually getting worse week after week.
Yeah, man.
So I'm with you.
I think both of these teams will look very different next year at the coaching position.
Okay, next up we have my Atlanta Falcons versus Saga's Cincinnati Bengals. As I had mentioned before.
No respect again, by the way. If you look at the percentage here.
Unbelievable. The Bengals barely beat the Saints.
Barely.
And the Falcons, put an absolute beating on the 49ers. And they're out here. People are out here saying that we're 8%.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
We've had this game circled since May in our house. I wrote it on the calendar back in May in our house when the schedule came out. We knew this was coming, and now there's an added sort of bonus. As I mentioned a few weeks ago, Saga's new boyfriend, he can't decide if he's a Falcons fan or a Bengals fan. And I have him on record as saying, okay, you need to wait until these two teams play, and whoever wins, that's who you're a fan of.
Shouldn't you pick the team that loses just to show you're a loyal fan? Or maybe he can make the decision mid-game, at half.
Ooh.
Make the decision at the half. You can't pick the winner. You pick it at the half, the team that you feel a connection to at the half, and then...
That's a fair point. I like that. I hadn't really thought of it that way.
Yeah,
like if you want to be a real fan, tell me at halftime who's your team, bro.
Yeah, it's not for the day. It's for the forever, man. Fandom is real.
considering how the Falcons tend to blow leads in the second half, that bodes well for me. So I like that. We'll go with that. But on to the pick. I made the mistake last week. I thought the Falcons were going to win, and I didn't pick them. I'm not making that mistake again. I'm going underdog. Let's go. I'm riding with the Dirty Birds. Go Falcons. Fuck these Bengals.
All right, you saying the Falcons. I'm going to put the underdog in there. Wow.
AJ Terrell is going to lock down Jamar Chase. I'm going to love it. It's going to be beautiful.
I'm gonna just make this quick. Lions are gonna get their asses whooped by the Cowboys. That's what I think. Cowboys are gonna be mad. They just took that L, and they're gonna try to dish it out and take it out on a bad Lions team.
I'm just curious. How much is Micah Parsons and this defense? How much are they gonna feast on Jared Goff in this game?
Jared Goff under fire. Oh my gosh, this is gonna get ugly.
It could very much so.
It's gonna get ugly. That seat's gonna start getting hot for our boy Dan. After a bye week, they're gonna look unprepared too. Oof. I don't know, man. Dak's gonna be back. Oof. Yeah, it's gonna be bad. Don't they have who was that? They're the ones with the top scoring offense and the bottom scoring defense. Was it them?
Yeah. The Lions before the bye week had the number 1 offense and the 32nd defense.
Man. All right, what you got?
Next up, we got the Colts and the Titans. I guess coming out of a bye week, most people expect the Titans to win this game.
Yeah.
Do I really think Matty Ice can do this 2 weeks in a row? And is Jonathan Taylor back?
Good question.
You know what? For our bet, I'm calling the upset. I'm going Colts. Let's go.
Oh, wow.
I'm feeling feisty.
Skip out here calling the upset. You know what? I picked that as well. I think the Colts are going to win that game. All right. We got the Packers.
You going for the upset in this one?
Yeah, man. I think Wentz is out. He got out of the way. Addition by subtraction. My favorite beer is Heineken. So I feel like, I think this is the ultimate get-right game for the Packers. They're going to beat the Commanders.
Okay.
So I'm going to speak my mind for a second.
Oh, my God. Speaking of get-right games, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going up against the Carolina Panthers. I mean, the Bucs, there's no way they're going to lose this football game, right? I mean, that's not humanly possible.
No,
I think the Bucs are going to run away with this one.
If PJ Walker's in, if not, if it's Eason, woof, it's going to get ugly. It's going to be ugly either way. Yeah. Bucs, they've been looking for somebody to bully. They're going to find it. Todd Bowles going to unleash every blitz you ever seen.
I would love it if they lost, because then the Falcons, after they beat the Bengals, would be first in the NFC South. I would love it. It'd be great.
Then we got the Giants are playing against the Jaguars. I'm gonna hit the old upset button on this one, man.
Nice.
I actually think the Jaguars can win this game.
I kind of have a funny feeling as well, because
I think the Giants are drinking their Kool-Aid. And this is it's gonna help them in the long run. They're gonna lose this game they shouldn't lose, and then they're gonna be like, you know what? Let's get our shit together, and they're gonna plow through some teams later.
Okay. Next up, we have the Baltimore Ravens versus the Cleveland Browns, which, in a weird way, for those of you who are familiar with your NFL history, these two teams are essentially. This is like the Cleveland Browns versus themselves.
Yes.
Baltimore Ravens used to be the Cleveland Browns. They moved from Cleveland to become the Ravens. And this Cleveland Browns is actually a new... they allowed them to just sort of like purchase the franchise history somehow. I don't know. It's weird. It's kind of a weird sort of we used to be you rivalry kind of thing.
The Spider-Man meme.
That's a good point. I never thought of that. Man, these Ravens have got to be fucking pissed off about the way they lost last week. I'm thinking they're shot out of a cannon. There's no way they lose this football game. They're going to stomp these Cleveland Browns. Let's go, Ravens.
Yeah. I gotta agree. I had already put it for you in there. Oh man, Jets Broncos. I think I'm drinking the Jets Kool-Aid a little bit. I'm gonna pick the coach, man. I think Saleh's got that team balling, and they're really feeling themselves. They're young. They're too naive to even imagine that they're gonna lose. So I think the Jets are gonna beat the Broncos, and the Broncos are gonna. The heat is gonna really turn up for Mr. Hackett.
Agreed.
He's got to win a game he's not supposed to win, and it's really not looking like he's going to.
Have you heard what Saleh has been saying about this current Jets roster? He's trying to basically say, like, forget about your father's Jets, forget about your grandfather's Jets. These are the baby Jets. This is a whole new breed. We got a whole new thing going on here. I think I know I've been talking shit about him early in the year, and then he came in, started saying he was collecting receipts. But
love it. He's got your receipt too.
I'm all in on. I love being wrong. Prove me wrong, bro.
Exactly.
These Jets are finally fun to watch. So I'm with you on that pick. Next up, we got the Houston Texans coming out of a bye week versus the Raiders, who are also coming out of a bye week.
Bye.
And even if the Raiders were not coming out of a bye week, I'd be picking Raiders because I do not. Aside from Damian Pierce, I feel like there's no reason to watch these Texans. I'm going Raiders.
I'm picking the under. Seahawks versus Chargers.
Speaking of the under. Sorry, I stepped into your lane again.
Yeah, man. Get out, man. Seahawks versus Chargers. My mind is telling me Chargers. But the Seahawks are playing some tough football. Pete Carroll has really got these guys. It's almost like the Saleh thing. And the Chargers, the coaching is a little shaky.
You're over there chewing that gum.
Though. I think that defense is gonna be the reason the Chargers pull this one out. But it's gonna be close. But I think the Chargers are gonna win this game. That defense is gonna have Geno a little shaky.
Okay.
That was a tough one, man.
Yeah.
That upset little caveat you got makes things a little more interesting, where you want to kind of go for it if you feel it. Yeah.
Makes it a little spicy.
Yeah.
Okay, no upset alert here. Kansas City Chiefs versus the 49ers. The 49ers are banged up on defense. I think they have at least 10, maybe 12 defensive players who are considered potential starters.
Oh, wow.
Who are banged up in some shape or fashion.
Oh, wow.
Chiefs are coming off of a disappointing loss to the Bills. I think they're absolutely going to boat race the San Francisco 49ers and show Kyle Shanahan what real coaching looks like. Let's go, Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah. Steelers were a little scary last week with that upset victory, but I think that ends when they face a potent Dolphins offense with Tua back at the helm. So I'm going to pick the Dolphins to beat the Steelers.
Is this Sunday Night Football?
Ooh, yes it is. Damn, I got to be up late.
Wow.
I'm going to be up late watching the Dolphins beat the Steelers. They could have flexed out of this one. Right?
And the next one, too. Why would you put the Bears in the...
You can't flex a Monday night game, but you can flex a Sunday night game.
Who puts Bears versus Patriots in Monday Night Football?
Yeah, at the beginning of the season, they're like, maybe something will happen. The scheduling people were like, that's all I got, man. That's all we got.
And the Bears already played a primetime game, didn't they?
They played a Thursday night game. I guess it is primetime. but they win no matter what. That's how good football is. That time slot is a victory no matter who is playing. Bears versus Commanders, I think it was, or something like that. Some shitty. Or I forget what it was. Bears versus was it the Browns?
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember.
I still have a bad taste in my mouth. So.
Well, okay. There's no mystery here. Bill's going to pull it out and show everyone how big it is again.
Don't forget to put the points total down there for a tiebreaker.
Also, is this game in New England? Or no?
No, it's in Chicago, right? No, I think it's in New England. New England.
I was just thinking that at some point, it's going to get late in the season. It's going to start getting cold outside.
That won't affect the Bears in New England.
No, but I'm just saying that for Bill's sake, when he pulls it out and shows it to him, he might need a little massa, a little knitted cap.
He got a little knitted cap on his
little knitted condom for his giant cock.
A yarn condom with the sleeves off,
with a tassel at the end.
No sleeves on the side.
Yeah.
Oh, you just a couple veins.
Little dangling tassel. Little extra ball. I got 2 balls, but I'm going to add this extra one.
Add this extra yarn ball to go with my what's his name? My Carolina owner specials.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Oh man, well that's our picks. You can make picks with us. We got a pretty big league now, man. We got a lot of people playing with us, and
this week we have Bills, Rams, Vikings, and Eagles, all of them on a bye. So yeah, check your fantasy rosters.
We should. Oh yeah, that's true. We should shout out the leader of the league every week. Of the not the league, but the
conveniently the week after I'm not the leader anymore. You want to shout him out?
You shouted yourself, motherfucker.
That's true. That's a fair point. I did.
If either one of us are number one, we shout it out. So I want to give a shout out to in ESPN Pigskin Pick'em. We're SveNFL 2022, and the leader right now is Christopher Edquist. Shout out to you, nice. Christopher. He's a lone leader right now.
By 10 points. I'm right on his heels. I'm coming for you.
Swift justice.
Coming for you, Chris.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And, I'm 3 games behind him, so I need some of these upsets to come through. All right. Damn. Last week I did pretty well. That's what pushed me back up here.
Actually, no, I didn't. I'm not right behind him. I really fell off a cliff last week.
No, you're not. Oh, last week you only got 6 right, but you're still in the 1 game back.
Oh yeah,
you're in second place. You're the lone second place, man.
Got
to teach Skip how to read these things.
Yeah, I'm old.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for checking us out. Good luck to your teams, unless your team is who are we playing? Oh, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Fuck the Steelers, man.
Yeah, fuck the Bengals too.
Take that, Saga.
Yeah.
This has been SveNFL's Jonathan Rollins.
Skip me, Sarah.
And we'll catch y'all next time. Thanks for checking this episode out. Peace.
Later, y'all.